Big ups to your dad. Oh my God, what's the new ridiculous thing that Darkside Phil did in his gameplay today? I can't wait to get to the channel and see. You know what I mean? That's one of the running things I had going, you know? How do I top what I did yesterday today with something else stupid that I said? I can't go back in time and change what I did. All I can say today is I'm a different guy today, and I'm sorry for how I behaved in the past, because I look back now and I cringe at how bad it was, right?
Now what does the sugar do in the sauce?
Adds sweetness, adds a contrast. If you don't, it's all going to be tartness, and you won't have any
It's going to be acidity from tomatoes.
Right, you'll have
and then
tart and it's acid and nothing else. Alright, so now we got to stir all that in, and then we add our final ingredients, and then the meat.
This one's for all my baby girls.
Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian bills. Italian Darkside Phil. Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian chill. Italian can't give her a pill. I'm half kind of European mix. European style, Asian fusion style tips. Greasy hair. Pasta once a week. The authentic style, Asian fusion style, Italian.
Guess what else we're going to add?
What?
Sausage. Italian sausage. That's going to go in here too.
I love sausage. I have had many varieties.
Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian bills. Italian Darkside Phil. Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian chill. Italian can't give her a pill. Why do you pretend to be Italian? I don't. I'm not full-blooded Italian. That'd be ridiculous for me to claim. I'm a quarter Italian. I am 1/4 Polish, and then I'm half kind of European mix. Over the course of 2 to 2.5 year period after that, I was one of the top-ranked Super Turbo players in every
that
version
being said
of the
here
game
with the very call-in
ever.
style show
That
for
was played in
your
tournament,
Thursday
all right?
afternoon, wherever you happen to
PS1,
be. Thanks so much for
every
joining us
version
here.
of PS2,
I am ALT, as always
Anniversary
joined
Edition, as
by
well
a
as
few
the
legends.
Capcom Classics
Always bring a few
Collection
legends in
too.
my back pocket.
Okay,
And I have two
Dreamcast
that went
versions
here.
that were run.
First legend I'm going to call out is the one,
Arcade
the
versions
only,
that were run.
the Meerkat.
I mean, hell,
how you feeling, my friend?
There's footage of me
Hello,
beating
everybody.
Seth Killian
Legend
in the
here.
finals
I'm
of
feeling
Evo
great.
East on YouTube right now.
Let's
Hell,
hit up
you
those
can look at
rotary
tournament
phones,
results,
see
and you
who's
can
gonna
see in
call in.
2007.
Can't wait to
Alright.
see.
I won
who's
so
on
many
the
tournaments in
calls
Super
today.
Turbo
Next
during
legend,
the Evo qualification
textile
season.
legend.
I had
Dealing with
like
all the
7
textile stuff behind the
qualification
scenes.
spots for Evo Finals.
The one, the only.
They had to
fantastic
give other people.
Mr. Sam. How you feeling, my friend?
Pretty good. Pretty all right. Yes. Excited for this. Audio bleed. What do you mean? Oh, Phil's talking over. We've already played the clip already of Phil. Oh, well.
It's okay. We can handle that later. Nice audio. Textile fail to start things off, but it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. I promise you. And we have set a new record for most messages ever in a week. And we seriously, guys, are going to have to think about what are we going to do when we get too many to go through one show, because
Stop sending messages.
we're
everybody.
approaching
Stop
that
it.
point. We are approaching that point. So before we get to all the other nonsense, we have very, very special guest. And he is obviously a legend that's been on the show, I think, multiple times now. He's been a special guest once on our Sunday show, special guest in the call-in show. He's a special guest wherever he goes, I think. And his name is Jaha. Let's get him in here. And he is now joining us. Jaha, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you guys doing?
You are a legend. It's nice to have you with us today. And we wanted to get you here because, as usual, DFSP was saying some stuff that might be exactly factual style information. And you happen to be someone that knows about the factual style information. So we want to bring you in here to hopefully you can shed some light on some things. Does that sound good to you?
Yes, man. What a week it's been, hasn't it? It's been pretty memorable with him. I think it all started with his tweet. I had the worst day off ever.
Which was 78 degrees.
Yes, I know, dude. I thought we were thinking that maybe his Street Fighter 6 beta access got revoked or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out it was just a leaking dishwasher. And it just blows my mind that you can be 40 years old, own a home, and just have zero useful and practical skills. This guy really is, he really wasted his life away. You have a leaking dishwasher in a house and the guy just leaves a towel there and just leaves the house. And then he's shocked that he comes back and the towel's soaking wet and there's water all over the floor. The guy didn't think to shut off the water line to the dishwasher. You can't make this stuff up.
He doesn't even know where that is, I'm sure. Where do you even do that? Where's your breaker box? He doesn't fucking know. You know that.
Oh man. And what was also super funny was this weekend when he was getting his ass kicked by Chris G in Street Fighter 6. And then later he tweeted and he found out it was Chris G. So Piece of Peace tweeted to Chris G hey, can you put the VOD up? And it's no response. So I know Chris G, so I DM Chris G. I'm like, hey bro, can you put that VOD up of you 13-0ing of DSP? It's yeah man, I got you bro. Boom, put it up. And then Piece of Peace made a video side by side. It was really good, man.
It's really well done.
Incredible. That whole exchange was really magical. And I thought, for me, I'm not a fighting game player. Obviously, you are. What bigger diss could you have than saying, does he ever play Street Fighter before? Or I don't think this is DSP. That's what else could you say? That hurts, right? If someone says that to you.
And then Phil tries to twist the truth, right? And then he goes on his podcast and says, oh yeah, Chris G said it looks like this guy never played Street Fighter 6 before. Nobody played Street Fighter 6 before. He said it seems like you never played Street Fighter before because he just was not playing fundamental Ryu or anything. It was just so bad. And the 13-0 meme comes from I don't know if you guys know Perfect Legend. So Perfect Legend was a top DOA player. But he didn't get no credit because DOA was a game that nobody played, So and then in Mortal Kombat he was pretty good, but then this guy Sonic Fox was the top player, so he called out Sonic Fox to do a money match, best to 10. So he loses 0-10 and then says, hey, let me play another one, let me play another one, let me play another one. Next thing you know, it's 13-0. So that was a meme that lives with him forever. And Phil tries saying, oh yeah, Perfect Legend gave me some words of support, I don't know, which I couldn't find on Twitter, and I even asked Carl, Perfect Legend himself, and he didn't reply to me. But that's a little background on that. But I know you guys have me here to just kind of clear up some of this FGC stuff that he was trying to claim on, I guess, right?
Last question. I know we have so many people to get to, but I want to ask you guys, someone that does know about Street Fighter, and what are your thoughts on the game itself? Phil was saying how it was so difficult for him to get his moves out, as always. How often does that happen when you say that's not what something happens that you don't want to happen on screen, right? Explain that to us non-fighting game players, right? Because he always says that's not what I wanted. That
see, so in your mind you're thinking okay, hey, I want to walk up, do a low forward kick, and then 2-1 it into a fireball. And Phil will play and do a low forward and do uppercut. It's like, that's not what I wanted. But see, that's where his execution is very poor, you know, because in his mind, he's thinking, okay, I want to do this 2-in-1 combo. But then when it comes out, executing it in his hands, that's where it all falls apart and he's doing something wrong. And then it goes back to him being the victim, like, hey, the game is not doing what I want it to. Like, this victim complex is so powerful in him. It blows my mind. Like, that whole, did you guys catch that part where he talked to the dishwasher like a detractor or troll or something, and was like, hey, I am going to go to this doctor's appointment. You are not going to ruin my day. Fuck you, blah, blah, blah. I'm going. And I'm going to leave this towel here. Like, I think any noun can be a detractor to him or a troll. Like, it doesn't have to be like a living person.
All right, well, let's
so bad.
Let's get to that. Actually, Sam has prepared the audio that I think the main kind of part you want to talk about. Of course, anything else you want to talk about is cool with us. But Sam, can you play that clip? We get us going here on what Phil said.
Yeah, sorry everyone, you've already heard this, most of you, but here we go again.
Over the course of a 2 to 2.5 year period after that,
it is playing.
I was one of the top-ranked Super Turbo players in every version of the game ever that was played in tournament. All right? PS1, every version of PS2, including Anniversary Edition, as well as the Capcom Classics Collection 2. Okay? Dreamcast versions that were run. Arcade versions that were run. I mean, hell, there's footage of me beating Seth Killian in the finals of EVO East on YouTube right now. Hell, you can look at tournament results and you can see in 2007. I won so many tournaments in Super Turbo during the EVO qualification season. I had like 7 qualification spots for EVO finals. They had to give other people my spots because I would have been entered into the finals like 5 times. I would have been playing myself. Okay? They had to give other people, lower ranking people, spots.
There you go. It's finished now, Jaha. You heard it earlier. I think these guys heard it
I
as
know
well.
what it's about. So So for context, let me see. That EVO 2007 that he's referring to, if I was to go back, so let's start at like EVO 2000, and you know, it's a homegrown type of event. You know, you have they're not even called EVO staff, but it's like the Cannon Brothers and a couple of people that are willing to help running event. You know, we started off in a convention hall or a room inside of a college, a university or something like that, rent out the space and hold a tournament there. And it slowly grown. Now in 2007, what happened was there is a gentleman, I don't want to say his name, but he pretty much was connected with Toyota and got Toyota to market EVO that year in 2007. And to speak truthfully, it was over marketed for, you know, the amount of return that they're probably expecting or whatever, but you know, he made it happen. So it was the only year where it was the first year where EVO had you know, just a lot of money to really run the tournament and do more events and do more prizes. And then the needle went back down to regular again, and the scene did not spike back up until 2009 when Street Fighter 4 comes out. So just, I wanted to kind of put that in perspective.
Okay.
So 2007, they did, you know, I say, okay, you know, so pretty much try to put it in perspective that every year they just did an EVO. That's it. But this one year they had all this extra money, so they did EVO West, they did the EVO East, and all EVO East was an East Coast tournament that, you know, they just titled EVO East. You know, it was just some random, you know, it's called, I think, NEC that they have in Connecticut, and they just called it EVO East and threw the name on it. And, you know, and then it was EVO West, right? Where Phil did pretty good that year too. Now, once again, another thing I want to put into perspective for you guys is that at this time, the biggest game was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And the next biggest game was Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Those were the 2 biggest games that everybody cared about, like who would really win. And so then there was like Capcom versus SNK 2. And then down on the bottom is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It's like the oldest fucking game. You know what I mean? So you got to understand that like the competition pool is not as big. It's kind of a game that nobody gives a fuck about too. like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't the game, and it wasn't super competitive.
Yeah.
And we already know about like how the version was, and
Yeah.
how everybody that really played the game, they're like, oh, this is a fucked up version. Now, when Phil talks about all these tournament results and I placed in all these things, so pretty much what happened is that SRK had a system, and this was just all on the forums, right? Where you have a region, you go in a forum, you go to the section of the region, and then you go to, you know, tournaments that people would hold. Now, anybody can post up that they're going to have a tournament. Like, you can have one at your house, you can have one in the back of a bodega. Like, some of these were like not real, like legit type of tournaments.
Yeah.
And you post that you have the tournament, and then you post the results in the tournament results section of who won the tournament, and the top 3 would earn points. And then when you earn these points, you earn so many for your region that you would get placed in the Evo tournament. Now, Phil says, oh, they would have had to put me in the finals 5 times or whatever. See, he's describing that like really wrong, because what happens is that you get these points. I mean, you earn these points, you earn a place, and you get seeded into the tournament. When you get seeded into the tournament, like, I mean, it's a huge tournament. It's not like, hey, we're putting you in like top 8 and you're skipping like the whole bracket of everybody that's entering. So, you know, that's bullshit. And number 2, it was a fucked up system because there was no integrity to the system. Anybody can say, hey, I'm having a tournament. These are the top 3 that placed. And then boom, you get your points. And a lot of people abused and bullshitted the system, and they never did it again. Same thing with this whole Evo East and Evo West. And then, you know, you get placements into the Evo tournament. You know, that was something that they never did again. You know what I mean? And it was the year where there was a version that he was really good at, and he made a good run at it. But it was something that was, you know, I guess somewhat, I don't want to say like a failure, but it was something like, hey, we're not doing that again. You know what I mean? Like, we're just doing a regular tournament, none of this placing bullshit, all this other stuff, you know? So he makes it sound like, you know, he was, you know, just dominating, and when it could have been just like a local tournament in like Connecticut that nobody from like New York or anywhere like good players are going to travel to, just maybe players around the neighborhood are going to play in, and then you know, he'll beat on some fucking arcade scrubs and put the results in, and he'll earn his points. And I also did fact check them too before I jumped on his call.
Yeah,
he was trying to say that he ran NEC with Josh Wigfall. So I called Josh Wigfall, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey, is this true? And he said, yeah, it is true. But you know, unfortunately, I got no dirt on him. And then I did ask him, I was like, hey, he was trying to say that after you know, his 4th place at Evo, he placed, you know, he won a whole bunch of tournaments, you know, NEC, ECC. Do you remember any of that stuff? He's like, no, I don't recall that. Like, I don't remember that.
I kind of felt like that was Phil's big thing, in addition to like saying like, I got to the final, but he said like, I got to the finals like 4 times or whatever. Like, I was qualified 4 times over or whatever was his big comment. And he also said like, after that tournament, I did a lot of other stuff too, was the key thing he wanted to get out. So,
and he didn't.
And
you could even look at all the Evo results and stuff like that, and I have him here in front. And I sent you guys the link too. You know, you only see him there that 1 year in 4th place, and then you look at all the other names for the, you know, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. You see the same, you know, names. You know, be Onuki, Tokido, Daigo, the best Japanese players. You know, you see Justin Wong, you see John Choi, you see Jason Cole. And I don't want to speak for and Alex Valle and whatnot, you know, those names that you hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did beat Serlin at Evo East, right? But let me kind of try to put this in perspective. Like, not Serlin, it was what was the name of the guy? Seth Killian. Seth Killian is, you know, he's a West Coast player, Street Fighter, but I mean, out of the group, he was probably, you know, one of the more scrubbier guys. I'm sorry, Seth. You know, me and him are friends and everything, but Street Fighter wise, he was, you know, one of the scrubbier guys. So he went to the East Coast where the competition was light and tried to go over there and take that tournament down. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So it wasn't like, you know, any really good West Coast players went. It was just like whoever is in the region. And, you know, I don't mean to, you know, it's pretty much the truth. Like, the West Coast at the time, fighting games. We were the gods. Like we were all the top players, all the best players, and really the best in all the games. And that changed when Justin Wong came around from New York and then started making the New York players better, and then they took over Marvel.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother story. But to put it into perspective for our detractor community, like the competition was a lot lighter in the East, especially for those type of games.
Okay, so to sum it up, basically, all that crap about like getting those, he was so overqualified for that tournament that it just is like anyone can have tournaments if they want to, and you're back, like you said, in the basement, and then put the points online, and then you get these magical points, kind of, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a bullshit system, and they never did it again. You know what I mean? Like it was a mistake, and all this, and what do you want to brag about? Winning Evo East and doing good at Evo West. Once again, they were just like, tournaments that shouldn't have happened and didn't happen again. It was just 1 year where they had a lot of money to throw around, so they ran these extra events.
Awesome.
Because to be honest with you, Evo never really gave a fuck about the East Coast. As they just gave them a tournament, just to have one, because everybody from the East used to travel west for thicker competition.
Okay, so that's a key point too.
Yeah, that's how you really proved if you were the best or whatnot.
Okay, so there's like only Evo West, and then they have a lot of money this 1 year for some reason. Then okay, let's do Evo East too. That's definitely the weaker side because they never had it there before. And Phil just happened to be there, of course, because he lived in Connecticut, gets a good finish there, and then claims after that there was other stuff, but we have no proof of that either.
Yeah, there's and I even asked around and nobody's even heard nothing. You know what I mean? Because after that, it was HD Remix was the next version, and I recall him getting spanked in that too. The only player that was doing good in that was Damdai, and he was from the East Coast, but he was a top player in that. But yeah, he was not memorable. That was it. That was his peak moment, man. That fourth place in Evo,
best player in America. Don't forget that. Best player in America. Say it right, Jaha.
And he admits that that's a troll statement. That pissed off, all the top players or whatever, because they called him out to say, "Yo, we'll play you on arcade version, any amount of money." Of course, he never, wanted to. He just wanted to be, trolling hater ass Phil, just always, the same childish dude that we know today, except for he's 40 years old now.
That's trouble with dishwashers. But John, that was really awesome. I want to give a chance to Meerkat or Sam. Anything else we missed on that call you want to ask Jaha about since we got him here?
I do have a question, since I wasn't here when Jaha called last time. I do have a question if you have any observations on that. Now, I do remember DSP has told us quite a few stories about traveling to tournaments with a bunch of different guys, and he talked about like buying them meals and hotel rooms, stuff like that, spending a lot of money on other people as this sort of like a humble brag. And to me, it kind of came across,
I think if he ever paid for anybody, it definitely had to have been after his YouTube rise. Anything before that, and especially when I was around and I see him around, he was broke because when he wanted to come out to Evo West, which was in San Diego, he asked Viscount Jay Snyder to stay, like, can I stay at your house because I have no money? And Jay was like, oh, all right, and he let him stay over there.
Oh yeah.
So no,
I was at San Diego. You said the message saying that's where it happened.
Exactly.
I promise you, I was walking around like, man, I wonder if it was here. I wonder if it was here. I was like thinking, damn, if I could find that ground, I'd take a picture. But
oh man, and it's funny, man. It would be funny to hear Jay's side of the story because Jay, he was staying at Jay's house,
Oh yeah, we got to get him on. He definitely seemed into it too. Viscount is definitely open to that possibility. So we want to kind of spread out our fighting game community episodes, but definitely that's very much a possibility. It sounds like to me.
Just put it all together, right? Because he was staying at Jay's house, and then that's when Watson went to his house and was like, "Hey, is he fucking there?" And he's like, "Yeah, he is, but don't disrespect my house. He'll be at the tournament. Catch him at the tournament." All right. And what's funny about the whole thing is that he can mention any name in the FGC. Viscount, Josh Wigfall, Chris G, Mike Watson, John Choi, Alex Vai, any of these names, and Seth Killian, and I can give these guys a call right now, or message them like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? And ask him for a favor or anything, and we're friends, but him on the other hand, like, if they hear his name, they're just like, oh no, fuck that guy, he's a piece of shit, or they don't want nothing to do with him. Obviously, like he's really just a reflection of just what a piece of shit he is. That, you know, nobody wants to be his friend. Nobody, like, I don't know. It's really hard to describe. He's definitely a special case, you know, in that matter, because I don't know anybody that's that much of a piece of shit that you really have nobody, like, he has no friends. Like, I mean, imagine if, you know, you don't know too much about dishwashers, okay, and it's leaking. You could call a friend, like, hey, what should I do? Like, this guy has nobody, but then he says, oh, I'm so glad I have Kat here to console me at the end of the night and tell me it's okay. And oh my gosh, man. And you know, I have another theory. I think that fucking condo is probably so disgusting and unkept because he really has zero skills, you know, as like a homeowner. Or I mean, the guy doesn't know how to mount a fucking smoke detector, right? He puts double-sided tape for smoke detectors and stuff
takes
like
out
that.
the batteries. Problem
Yeah,
solved.
right. Like, this guy's practical skills are like, you know, -0, and
I don't
really
think he knows
just doesn't know how to do anything.
He doesn't even know
I could
how
just
to, like,
imagine how disgusting the place is,
Yeah.
right? Like, he said he had a leak from one shower and is going downstairs and the water's running down. He still never fixed it. So he's just leaving all that shit wet there.
Yep.
So it's probably just black mold building in the walls. They're just rotting the wood. I think that's why he doesn't want to show us a condo, because that place is probably disgusting, dude.
Yeah,
Could
it
be.
wouldn't surprise any of us. But all right, Jaha, that was a legendary call. As
Thank you
always,
so much,
whenever you
guys.
join
Sorry it
us,
wasn't
it's
as
a pleasure.
big ups,
juicy,
man.
but I just wanted to give you guys like the picture and the perspective that, you know, his achievements, they really aren't shit. It's
Yes.
not shit. It's not that special, you know. And you know, we can bring anybody around from that era to confirm that too.
Yeah, it's definitely not just like this is so the opposite of Jaha just saying stuff. Jaha's the one that tells us, but he gets the information for everybody. You know, it's just he really, as you see, Jaha cares about getting the truth out there. So that's why we love to have you on, Jaha. So anytime you want,
you
you're
so much,
obviously
guys.
welcome here, my friend.
Thank you so much, guys. Love you guys.
Have
man.
a good one.
Yeah,
All
see
right.
you, man.
Take care.
Thanks, Jaha.
What a legend Jaha is, as always, sharing the info there. We should right away, though, Sammy boy, get to some messages here because we have so many to get to, and let's keep the show rolling. Thanks so much, everybody, for super chatting. You guys are all legends. Of course, you guys are all legends. I think Ganji Kid, Jay Kramer, Decent Point Bro, Prophet, legend, Barrett, legend. Everyone's a legend. Thanks so much, guys. But let's get to the messages. Sammy boy.
Let's do it. This is Fiskas.
Hey, that being said, podcast, you guys are doing God's work. Shout out to you guys and all the detractors. I know the pig roach is a creature that was supposed to point and laugh at. However, there's something that really makes my blood boil. If you don't mind, I would like to address Phil directly because I do believe he keeps up with the podcast. I also suspect Steve will agree with it, what I'm going to say. Phil, unlike you, who's only ever been sad, I was diagnosed with depression brought about by PTSD a few years ago. Like many of my fellow veterans, listening to you talk about depression and mock mental health the way you do really makes me want to look up flights to Seattle. Depression is not a shield to hide behind when you fuck up, you parasite. It is a burden and it weighs a ton. Mental health issues are not something to be used as a childish insult. Thankfully, I was one of the lucky ones and got my depression under control, but many haven't. How many veterans have to this day crippling depression? How many veterans commit suicide per day in the United States? Look that number up. It's not pretty. Phil, just for this shit alone, you deserve a biblical ass kicking. And then you can go on stream and beg for money because you have big medical bills coming up. Sorry for the rant, guys. But I just wanted to take that off my chest. Shout out to you guys and keep up the good work.
Yeah, big ups for the message. Also, we forgot to say we have the question of the day.
Oh, yes, you're right.
This is from Fisgas. We should set up a poll about it.
Yes, he had the question of the day too, so it's perfect timing there.
Now this is it's a new thing that we do for the members. We set up a community poll. The guy with the most likes on his question gets the question to be a question of the day. We should set up a poll, and the question is DSP gonna get kicked out of another platform by the end of this year? Mm-hmm. That's the question. You will get to vote as soon as we set up the poll.
But, can you do that? Can you do that, Meerkat?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
Cool. But yeah, Fiskas, I don't think we can add anything to what your comment was. I think it's strongest if we just let it go because that was a very meaningful comment you had. But thanks for your message, my friend. That was a lot of meaning there, and I think we would just dilute it if we add something. Unless anyone else has something to say, Sam or Meerkat.
No, it's just you know, real talk, isn't it? You know, and fully agree. Of course, you know, it's just another excuse just like the alcoholism or whatever else he decides. It's something he decides to fall back on if he ever needs to have an excuse.
Yep. We are joined now with our first caller of the second caller of the night. His name is Snood, but sometimes he likes to pretend to be someone else that we all know that is trying to learn to drive these days. Tweets about girls. Let's see what he's going to give us today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Go ahead, Snood. What's up?
I had a question and a comment today. I'll go with the comment first.
Okay.
But and Jaha kind of touched on this already, but the idea that Phil allowed his shower and now toilet apparently be in disrepair attached to his master bathroom for an entire year. I don't see how that's possible. I'm not in a relationship currently, but I've been in several long-term relationships. I think 2 out of the 3 people in this podcast are married.
Yep.
Is there any planet in any universe where your wife would let her bathroom be basically completely out of service for an entire year?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, if you have the right, I'm not making any assumptions too much, but
sure, if they were destitute, could not afford electricity for DoorDash 3 times a day, a real emergency situation.
Yeah, then maybe, but still, we're not in that situation. We know he has enough money to do it, but that would make most partners pretty angry, right? If a toilet is just out and all you take to fix it is a call and a couple of bucks. It might be expensive for sure, but it's not like
I don't think it's that expensive, bro.
Yeah. It's a couple $100. Yeah,
that just kind of makes me think that they are absolutely that tells me that Phil has taken the master bedroom to lock Jasper in at night with him by himself while Kat is sleeping on the couch somewhere. Those two are not married in anything other than the strictest legal definition.
Well, yeah, and more news to that. Remember, they don't have a song. Anyone hear that, guys?
Yeah, we didn't date.
We didn't talk about
we
that.
didn't court. We just exchanged messages on YouTube.
That was one of the saddest things, right? Because even if
when
you don't,
he said they got married in the hallway of his parents' house, and this was probably one of the saddest things that I've heard in my life. It actually made me want to cry.
Yeah. I mean,
that is it possible that Phil is devious enough to have faked a wedding? Just to get trolls off his back? I guess they would. There's a certificate somewhere. I think someone must have posted their actual marriage certificate at some point.
You have to register legally, right? So I think you can search for that. I don't know. People are really spies in the Detractorverse, so I'm sure it's there.
I'm not gonna Google anything, but I think it would be really easy to dress your horse up in a 45-year-old wedding dress, slap some makeup on her, take a really uncomfortable picture of her. Buy a $100 weird ass thick wedding ring. Just pretend like you're married so that people won't think that you're a loser, because that's all he thinks that it takes to be successful, is to be in a relationship and married, right?
Yeah.
He did it for his parents too, because they were dying or whatever.
Yep.
So they wanted to see her, and meanwhile, let's just get married since we're there already. Let's just get married.
Did he get Italian style ambushed into marrying this chick? What's the opposite of a shotgun wedding? Do you know what I mean by a shotgun wedding?
Bubble blow wedding.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, it seems to be a marriage of convenience for sure. I mean, just think about this, right? Okay, me and Sam have been married for a while, and yes, I'm sure, Sam, you have a song. It's not like you talk about the song every day. It's not like you play that fucking song every day, but you still have one.
Yeah, there's something you think about that gives you.
I shouldn't talk for Sam, but you know what I'm saying, Sam, right?
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, we had a hard time choosing a first. I don't know over there, but you do the first dance, and
same
that would normally be your song. And it was actually one of the harder choices we had. Was what do we do? And we ended up doing something kind of a bit off the wall. But anyway, why not do that? Why not come up with something? What did you do at this wedding? If it was at your house or your parents' house, was there any sort of merriment going on, or was it just,
Yeah, there was. He talked about them going to Vinny's Pizza. He name dropped the pizza place, and they had
the
pizza.
authentic Italian style waiter.
Yeah.
Hey, Vinny.
Oh, you like it to scuzzi. You like it to scuzzi. He's literally talking like that. I'm sorry. I just have a question to ask now too. Have any of you ever like actually interacted by Phil? And by that I mean, of course, you've been like banned or blocked from something by him. I'm personally blocked by him on Twitter because every time he made a tweet that said I'm going to be like 15 minutes late to the stream today or something, I would post that day's WWE Champions event calendar and just say probably not related, and he blocked me for that.
That's a good question of the day, actually. Is like, what's your interaction? I think we talked about it before. Like, what's your online ban history with Phil? But real quick, like, we gotta let you go, Snoop, because obviously always legendary, but we got a lot of calls. So Meerkat, what's your ban history with Phil?
I don't remember. I don't know. At some point, I called him some name and he banned me. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah,
because it's like with him, you can do a lot of stuff and get away with it, and one day you just realize you've been banned. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's what happened to me on Instagram. Somehow for Instagram, I have no clue. I never use Instagram. I never put comments. I guess I did many years ago. So I was like, all right, let me check out Phil's Instagram. Banned? What? It was weird for me, but that's it for me. Go ahead, Sam. What about you?
I'm not banned by him.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Me too.
but I never like at him or anything. I don't follow him. Like, you know, I follow those like the like bot accounts that retweet him or you know like repost or whatever. And yeah,
that's the way to be. Yeah, that's the way to be. All right, Snood, let you go. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Later.
Good call by Snood, as
Snood.
always.
Just quickly, that Frankie the Wop got me laughing. He did his pre-stream for a wedding speech. This got me going.
That's best joke so far. Good one to Freddie the Wop. Nice one. Hey guys, we're all here gathered today. I want to talk about I used to work at a helicopter company and got laid off. I was the best employee there, obviously. Dumb asses there. All right, next message. Go ahead, Sam. We go for now. Schedule. So today I'm off for this wedding, of course. Tomorrow I'll be back on streams. Morning stream, epic stream, coming up with Minecraft. So we're going to be making some fishing. Thanks, Papa Bear, for the help there. All right, anyway, I could go on for hours. Sam, go ahead.
Right. Yeah, it's stunty.
Hey, fellas. Phil is a bit enigmatic for too many reasons to name, but I like to think we all have at least one top pet peeve that DSP gets our goat with. There's too many. I mean, the snorting, the throat clearing, and of course the begging. But for me personally, as a person with a disability, my least favorite thing about Phil is that despite ostensibly suffering from a mental illness himself at least one point in his life, has this absolutely despicable habit of throwing those with mental issues under the bus.
Yeah.
Like saying stuff like, "Oh, you need to have the white coats come and get you and whatnot." To me, honestly, if Phil wants to convince anyone that he's being attacked by the quote unquote dregs of society, as he's called us, to me, the honest to God best start would be to attribute the alleged outright negativity his detractors bring upon him to malice instead of illness. Not everyone who's pure evil is evil because of a disease, is my basic point. Someone can just be a piece of shit and not be mentally ill, right? That being said, pun entirely intended, is there something about Phil that really gets your goat in particular? And that's a question for all the guests, of course.
Yeah.
Like, we're all annoyed at the begging and whatnot, but maybe there's something primally triggers in each person who has an issue with his conduct, be it by snorting and burping or throwing mentally ill under the bus. Thanks for listening, and big ups Meerkat. This is from Stanty.
Awesome. Big ups Meerkat, of course. And I guess we'll let Meerkat answer this one first because you got the big ups.
For me, it always got me, and it will always get me how arrogant he is at every time, all the time, nonstop. This man can never be humbled. No matter what you do to him, what happens to him, he can never be humble. Not for like one moment. He is always arrogant. He's always smug about shit, and that pissed me off more than anything else he does.
Yeah,
and that's my answer.
That's a good answer. Go ahead, Sam.
I think it's probably similar to Stanty's. Just when he goes off on one about having the you needing mental help or whatever it is, I don't often get wound up, as you know, but I do find myself when he starts talking about that stuff, the way he says it with such conviction and I don't know. There's just some. I guess he says it in such an arrogant sort of. mean-spirited way, I guess. I don't know where he really, I guess he definitely comes across as though he really believes that this person needs help, and it's like, dude, this is what we've been saying about you. This is all like projection, basically, and it kind of, that I find myself getting a bit worked up about.
I think for me the main one is just the thing he says he doesn't do. Remember, he's just saying facts, but guilt tripping is my number one. That gets me like seriously feeling bad for the people that are giving him money, that I feel bad for them. I mean, I know there's less and less people giving him money all the time, but I mean, still feel bad for those people that really, like when Phil says, like, I guess you guys don't want me to have a good day off, and then he gets $5. And I feel bad for that person that gave that $5 because they've fallen for this mental pressure, mental abuse, let's call it, that he's given to his fans like that. That's what makes me mad, because no one should give up their hard-earned, however you got your money. Well, maybe it wasn't hard earned. I don't care. Maybe you're a millionaire. You still should not give up your money because someone mentally pressures you to do it. And that is what Phil does every single day, multiple times an hour. In all these tweets are mental pressure to people, and that's what gets me. That kind of Phil, Sam said, anger kind of.
Giving him money in that way by feeling bad about it, being guilted into it, is the opposite way of how you're supposed to support somebody's stream. You're supposed to support him if you like him, not if he makes you feel bad and feel guilty about it.
Yeah. Yep.
And that is essentially his business now. That's his business model, isn't it? That's all the business is now. Basically, isn't it? There's very little of the people genuinely enjoying the stuff and wanting to, and even if they are supporting to see it bettered in some way, it's never going to happen. So it's it's bizarre.
All right, let's get to our next caller, I guess. Someone we've all heard and all love. Always has something to say. He goes by the name of Meth Bear in the house again. How you feeling, my friend? Can you hear me? You are muted on your end. There you go. How's it going, my friend?
God, sorry. I was just taking a hit there. Oh, God damn it. I need to lay into this guy. So, a few things that I'd like to address is that the glorious legal system of the United States, according to Dookie Shoes Phil here, is that just like how Nancy and the bankruptcy trustee done fucked up, so did the Workers' Compensation Board, because they were out there saying, he told them when he got fired from Best Buy. I worked at Best Buy approximately the same time in that same era. And he bought all those PS2 consoles. You're not allowed to use them for personal. You're there for you alone, and maybe a gift to, it's typically a close relative. Typically, and you're not allowed to use anything for personal gain. And he went and told the board, well, I didn't make any money on this one tournament that I used it in, and I don't plan on doing any more. And now here he is saying, oh, hey, I did a bunch of tournaments and I held a lot of them, and so. There you go, and around the same time period, and so there you go, supposedly holding a lot of these tournaments, and they said that, well, we believe him, he's going to get his unemployment, just like he shouldn't have gotten that Chapter 7 where he got away scot-free. They should have been cutting chunks of bacon off his back in that Chapter 7, or at least put him on to a Chapter 13, where they would have put him on a 5-year payment plan, where they would have taken a straight razor right to his nutsack and just kept running that over every day. No polls, no DoorDash, no nothing. They would have kept him so tight, it would have been be like a virgin. It's sort of like he wouldn't have been able to bust through, because he's got that. He's a mudak. He's a which is, strangely enough, I don't know if Meerkat would know this, being Slavic, but the original name of it means shithead, which is his favorite piece, profanity. It actually comes from the old Slavic, meaning castrated pig. So there you go, and that fits him perfectly. Let me see. Another thing. Game Cucker coming back, and I think I threw some stuff over to Steve of the Dead.
Yep.
He attracts fucking crazy people. He does. And I threw some of. I went on to Game Cucker's Facebook page, and oh my God, this guy. He is just. He's got problems. I mean, he's got thoughts so deep They run deep, just like Chevy, running deep, and he could literally be turning anthracite into diamonds in his own mind. This guy is so dramatic, and there are people on there talking about basically. He had his little supporters on there, like, oh, all you haters on here who are coming after him, driving him to suicide. You'll never understand, and you hate him because he is so great and so kind. And it's the way people describe Phil and how he describes himself. It's sick. I mean, he gets Derek.
Mm-hmm.
He gets Derek following him. I've seen people like Derek. I've seen people in court like Derek. Unfortunately, you know, I've had to represent people like Derek before.
Okay.
And it's that dude is going to, okay. They don't all do it, but there's a strong chance that this guy is going to end up trying to snatch some little kid, and especially when his parents aren't around anymore, and that just scares the hell out of me. But there's not much we could do about it now. He's one of Phil's fans. Phil isn't helping it. He's just hanging around him. Another thing, Jaha mentioned something about DOA not being very popular. I could tell you, DOA beach volleyball, that, my friends, was a top-selling game and quality content back in the day when it was on Xbox. Back in the day, when we were selling that, we were constantly selling out of that, and people were calling it people calling it softcore porn. It wasn't. I mean, I saw a demo of it, but it really wasn't that bad. But no, Phil, go ahead, breathe in your black mold. You might have made a lot of money in tips over the weekend. It doesn't matter because you blew it all. I'm not punching the air because I know you just threw it into a burning pit. And it's not going to help you. You're just going to be rocking back and forth in your little autistic ways as your world and your house and your marriage falls apart around you. Okay? And one thing that he can get fucked on is that if the condo does fall apart, because Kat is entitled to a part of the growth, the increased value since they got married. If she ends up walking off and that place is a pit, he'll still end up having to pay her anyway because he didn't end up keeping it up. All right. So go ahead and you could just be going along your impotent way. And I mean, you know, what Phil is that he's the lowest. He's the lowest of the low. He's like when you roll off the condom, he's that residue that's on the inside and everything like that. That shit that's just in there. That's what that fucker is. And we just need to keep on the pressure, and he's just gonna end up screwing himself. And that's it. I got some shit to do. So, all right.
All right, Meth Bear. We'll let you go on that note. What a rant, Meth Bear, coming in hot as always. But thanks so much, my friend. We'll let you go.
Big ups.
Right, see ya.
Thanks, man.
Bringing the fire as always.
Something to say about the condo that several people mentioned already. I think that condo is going to be terrible enough that at some point he won't be able to get rid of it. He will want to sell it or do something else with it. He won't be able to because it's going to be destroyed.
Yeah, that's something to be said for that, right? You can't, if you don't take care of it, like he clearly isn't. Remember, like one thing that we could, you know, when he moved in, he didn't do all that kind of stuff you're supposed to do to set up, like put blinds up in every room that didn't have them yet. Until his dad came a year later. Was it 2 years?
Crazy.
I can't remember. Think about
It's
that.
like I was going to say when Jaha was on, he was talking about he can't even fix a fire alarm. He can't even put a picture on the wall, like with a nail. It's always that stick-on stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Same with the code rack as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That thing.
There's some stuff you got to learn how to do, you know. And he's like, "Well, I don't have time," even though we know he has time. He has more time than anybody because you know what he's doing. He tells us exactly what he does every day with that fucking schedule. But let's go to our next message, Sam. We got to move along.
Let's do it. It's Lefty. There we go.
What's up? That being said, it's Lefty. Great show last week. Hilarious. I laughed the whole time. The caller after me last week brought up the subject of a possible redemption arc for our boy Filbert. I'm surprised none of you brought up the real necessary requirement for that arc to take place, and that is an endorsement from both John Rambo and Howard. And without both of them coming out and telling us or telling the world, hey, this guy, you know, he made amends with us, maybe he's a changed man, whatever, maybe you should give him a second chance. Until that happens, which in my opinion it's never going to, until that happens, there's no redemption for Phil. Since that is not going to happen, there will be no redemption from Phil. Now, you might be tempted to say, well, what about Leanna? Leanna should come out and no. Leanna's an ex-romantic partner, and things can get a little bit weird, so she doesn't count because things after romance, people's feelings get involved, and so no, not Leanna. Just John and just Howard. And until then, there's no redemption. Thanks for having me on, guys. We'll see you next week.
Hey, big ups, Lefty.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that though, 100%. Because I think that he doesn't need those two to say anything, right? I think if he, I'm saying I think it's impossible anyway. But let's say for tomorrow he comes on and says, "Guys, you know what? I'm really done begging. I don't want to do it this way." Let's say he really did that, right? Just think about it. I think that would be kind of he would, still take a while. It would have to be years of not begging, I think, for people to kind of fully say, "Okay, well, I'm a real DSP fan now." But I don't think he needs Rambo and John. What do you think, Sam?
Well, I don't know. I like I said last week, I feel like there's a lot more than just the surface level stuff that he would need to change. And like I said, I still don't think I would become a fan.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I don't see that either. But I don't know. What do you think, Meerkat? Does he need Rambo and John to make his redemption arc?
Okay, first, I look at this as a super, super hypothetical thing because, like I also said on that call-in show, I don't believe 1,000% that he's capable of redemption.
Yeah.
But if that was one of those cheesy comedy movies where the guy decides to stop being an asshole and tries to apologize to everybody that he's wrong, I think it could work out. He's gonna make a bunch of apology videos and admit his mistakes. But if he wasn't DSP, if he was a different guy who is capable of doing that, I don't necessarily think Rambo and Howard have to co-sign on that.
Yeah.
But that would be nice. Of course, that would contribute to his redemption.
That would kickstart it. Yeah, that would kickstart it. That would make us. I think that would make us detractors be like, okay, well, that's a good first step, right? I mean, I don't think.
Well,
none
of course, yeah, because their
cool.
word means much more than mine. Because I'm just some asshole on the internet, and they actually used to know the guy. They used to hang out with the guy, so
yeah,
it would mean something.
But anyways, this is so many levels of hypothetical. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, it's just an abstraction upon an abstraction on an abstraction.
Yeah. I guess let's shoot another message down, Sam. We got so many to get to. Let's do 2-1-2-1 kind of.
Okie doke. Here's big guy.
Hey guys, got some quotes that fall under the category of not normal things DSP says that he pretends are normal. So Derek asked Phil about wearing Street Fighter shirts during the beta, and Phil said he couldn't be sure if he would wear them every day because, quote, some nights I'm taking a shower, like tonight, end quote, which is a weird thing for a self-employed 40-year-old man to admit that he doesn't even take a shower most nights. And I'm not sure why taking a shower Wednesday night has any bearing on what t-shirt he wears Thursday morning. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There was another quote from when Chris G was beating up DSP in the beta. Phil said, quote, "He somehow reacted perfectly to almost everything I did. How?" End quote. I could think of a reason, Phil. He's a professional player. And the last time you played competitively was 20 years ago. There was another quote from Phil's impromptu Q&A where he said, quote, "I think cloud gaming will be the future in the future. It's not the future now because, well, it is the future now. It's not the present." And I just want you to imagine a sober person trying to say that.
Man, big guy always brings it. He always has a good quotes. Like the ones that he's right. They you slip under the radar. But if you think of it, that's really incredible. I'm taking a shower some nights. That's what he said. That's so crazy. Think about that.
It's clear that he doesn't regularly shower, but it doesn't make it any more amazing when he says things like that. It's great.
Hold on. Let's just break out from that. What does when you take a shower affect the shirt you wear? That's what I'm trying to understand too. That's another aspect of it. We're kind of glancing over. How does the science work out there? When you put on the shirt after a shower, that's it. You're locked in until next shower, I guess. It's you're signing a contract. All right, shower done. dry off, shirt on. All right, this is it. This is my life now.
Let's say you shower, you put on a shirt. You can't take off that shirt, put another shirt on because you are gonna be dirty and you're gonna make that shirt dirty. So you need to take another shower first, but it's not the shower day. It's not the designated shower day. So you can't do that. So you can't change the shirt too.
Makes sense.
I guess. I don't know.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. All right, let's get to a caller here. I'm sure we're going to get some fire here because we all know the man that goes by, Michael Johnson, always brings the fire. Let's see what he has on his mind today. Michael Johnson in the house. What's on your mind, my friend? Yellow. Yellow. Yellow.
Hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear
A
me?
little bit quiet there, but I think I got you. Can you pick him up, Sam? He's pretty quiet for me. Can you hear him? Go ahead, Michael.
Well, obviously, I think the topic of Phil's condo, because remember, this is not a house, it's actually a condo. It has to be, he has not been taken care of it, obviously. And I would say it hasn't been taken care of since Leanne left. And he's been also getting more lazier with taking care of it. That's why we've been having all those days where he's like, oh, this is broken, that is broken, that bathroom is broken, the bathroom toilet is broken. That place is falling apart, and he's not obviously getting maintenance to fix any of this. He's not getting anyone to fix it, so it won't be, if there is mold, and it's possible Cat and Phil are breathing it.
Yeah.
So they're going to be affected by it. And Phil also his office, quote unquote, is not clean. So it's not, so he's also breathing a lot of dust that it should really make it, but he's also trying to, quote unquote, toughen through it instead of just cleaning up in there, like, or having a humidifier to, help your office or your room. But he's not doing that. He'd rather be on Twitter complaining about a goddamn movie. Yes, because that just happened an hour ago.
Yep.
He'd rather be trying to talk about his past with FGC and still sucking on it because goddamn the Salt to Street Fighter 6 was terrible. We're seeing that really his streams are not doing well because no one gives a fuck about Evil Within. Dreamlight Valley is boring for all the wrong reasons. And really, he's going to make us go back to these dumb collections so he can continue to play a busted, shitty port of a game from the 90s. He could be just playing, actually doing variety and doing other fighting games, but he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
He wants to hold on to these glory days, but he's going to die in these glory days. That house will be his tomb. Unfortunately, I still want my fire. There's no question about it. I want him to do something stupid, but I still want my hopefully future playthrough to happen. So I'm gonna have to hold off of God striking down where he stands.
All right, Michael. You always bring the heat. We'll let you go on that one. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Here we go,
Have a good
Michael.
day.
The black mold's gonna take him, guys. Don't worry about it.
The black mole is gonna have the same. Go ahead, Meerkat.
His lungs are like the insides of a vacuum cleaner at this point, completely full of dust.
That's a good question, August Stevenson. How often does he change the air conditioner filter, right? Because you got to change those every 6 months or whatever. That's what they told me when I bought the house. It was like 6 months or even 3 months you can. And that requires a ladder. You got to go open the ladder and put the filter in. He's not doing that shit.
We already failed the mission. The moment you said ladder, we failed the mission. It's insta quit, rage quit.
You didn't tell me what to
AC.
do. Yeah, new AC. You didn't tell me what to do. Sam had to step out for a second here, so he'll be back. But Phil, if you didn't hear it, of course, scouring the internet again for stuff to say on Twitter, he found this. They're going to make a movie about the GameStop stock market short squeeze, and Phil, of course, has to chime in. Why does there need to be a movie about this? Who cares? Who
cares about it?
Just because you don't care about something doesn't mean the whole world doesn't care about it. And why is there a movie about anything then, right? Why is there movies about fucking boats sinking in the ocean or blue aliens? Why do we have movies then?
It was one of the biggest news stories of the year when it happened. It was such massive hyped story that Reddit could actually fuck over whoever it was, like AMC or whoever it was.
Yeah. Like it's a cool story. Like, wow, cool. Internet did something, for a little bit at a moment. It's like, what are they? Who cares? It's like, just stop scouring. When you find yourself scouring, you went too far, right? On the internet. When you find yourself scouring Twitter, go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
And Steve had a great idea, Meerkat. I'll tell you yesterday. He said, we need to have a thread about Phil's best 2 a.m. gin tweets. And I think that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
You know they
tweets,
exist.
Man. I fucking love the tweets.
Right.
DSP on Twitter is just like a next generation of Twitter user. It's just
he offers nothing of substance. He's just constantly chasing. Oh fuck! I forgot to ask Jaha about. He was going after the FGC boys fast. DSP was after that 13-0 nonsense. He was like Viscott was saying, not Viscott. What's his name? Justin Wong was saying stuff, and Phil would respond to it like, "Yeah, it's really cool. I couldn't do that." Like just trying to get any kind of response. Please engage with me. It's like he's talking to his chat. Engage with me, FGC, please. No one wants anything to do with them. I felt bad. It's like,
there was a dude that engaged with him and started like explaining to him how he can play the fighting game or whatever, and he got no response from DSP. Like the dude wrote an actual thread about it.
And what I wish I asked Jaha about that, because I went. They thought it was all thought it was funny. Just please, guys, talk to me, please. Anybody, Valle, please. No one's responding. Obviously, they know better. But all right, go ahead, Sam. If you get not back yet for a second. Let's get to our next caller then, because I could definitely do that on my end. And we have our call here.
Yeah. Let's do a quick vibe check of a question of the day. Has DSP kicked out of another platform by the end of the year? 67% say yes so far. So we still have time to turn the tables somehow. I don't see it happening, but okay.
Chat, my friends. What other platforms are there, Meerkat? So we got YouTube. We have
there's YouTube.
PayPal,
there's Patreon. There's PayPal. I don't know.
Is that the three? I mean, WB champions or something they'll never ban him though. He can do whatever he wants with that. They'll be like, I don't give a shit. If he like changes his username to like I hate Jewish people, they'll be like, all right, that's cool. Keep him in.
No. There's a platform that just like Patreon. I just can't remember the name of it.
Okay, what's up, my friend? What's your question today?
One comment and one question.
Okay.
The first thing I'll answer the question for earlier from the question of the day. If I got banned from Phil's chat, and I've done it twice on Twitch and on one of my burner accounts on YouTube.
Okay.
I forgot why. That was a couple years ago.
Okay.
And the question was, let's say if DSP managed to make a comeback, do you think he will last on the FGC?
A comeback in the FGC. I don't think that's possible just because he doesn't have the skills, right? So we have to assume that, first of all, if let's say he got good enough, right? Then he could, right? If you're good enough, it doesn't give a shit what people think about you. You're just, people hate me and I'm good enough. But he doesn't have that part of it, right? That's the most important part. And unfortunately, the hardest part to get is the skills to be a high-level player, right? Because if he was good enough, people could hate your fucking guts. It doesn't matter, right? There's a lot of people that people hate in like Smash community and stuff. A lot of people hate Hungrybox, I know. Because he's just an ass. A lot of people think he's an asshole, but he's good enough to be in the top tournament, so it doesn't give a shit, right? But any other comments on that, Meerkat?
I mean, at his age, to get really good enough for a comeback, he'll need to play all the time, and we know he has to put on quality, entertaining streams. He can't just leave them and just play fighting games all the time. But hypothetically, if he wanted to make a comeback, it would be miserable.
Yes,
and he would fail. So yeah,
that'd be a fun like a summer project or something for him though. It's like I'm trying to get back, and
it's the summer of comeback. Comeback summer 2023.
All right, my friend, I'll let you go, man. Thanks for your call though.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. You are a legend. Always welcome. Always welcome here. That's a good point. Everyone's saying I forgot Twitter. Yeah, he could be banned from Twitter, but that would be the least effect thing in his world. Like that'd be a positive for his life. Let's get real. If he lost Twitter, it would be effective for it would be a boon for his brand, probably. Because, like, he stops saying nonsense, he stops getting in trouble, and he has one less place to put his schedule, which is actually a positive for him, I think, really. Let's get real. I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead, Sam, get another question. Message if you can.
Okay, this is Derek's keyboard.
Uh-oh, sticky.
Oh, there we go. The website's stuck.
Oh yeah, sometimes you got to refresh it.
Oh yeah. That, that's a nice ass. Mm. Oh yeah. Oh.
It was always going to happen, wasn't it?
Stop him, he's gonna bust.
Oh god.
And
Thanks for stopping.
That was it. Okay,
Woodland.
I was expecting some kind of like, the mic is on or something. I was waiting for that kind of finish, but it didn't happen. That was just a straight up bust. So thanks so much for that. Great job.
thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Derek.
Thanks for busting, Derek. See you around.
I wonder. I always think about what level will it take Derek to be banned from Phil's chat, right? What level would he have to push it to? Because right now he's just saying innocent shit. Like, did you know Pixar was founded by two guys in a college dorm in 1999 or whatever? That's all it is. So it's like kind of fine. But like, how would he push it? What if he said like, what if he talked about Cat or something, right? Like, oh, how was Cat doing today? Like, that's fine. But like, are you going out with Cat this weekend? Then we're kind of getting close, you know? Like, I wonder what the line is. But I mean, obviously we never know. But
I don't know, man. For him, the line is different than for everybody else. So I guess if he starts saying some actual like controversial racist things or something like that, then maybe then.
That's what it would take.
Yeah, we would, in order for us to know that, we would need to know why he's able to stick around. You know, like the biggest mystery, the most interesting mystery about DSP is, for me anyway, is why this guy is able to stick around. So yeah,
it's just so odd, right? But all right, Clickbait Wrestling is in the house. Legendary caller, how you feeling, my friend? You with us? Clickbait. Don't say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. You there? There you are.
Yo. Had a little technical difficulty there, but we
no problem.
Online now. We're good.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, your theory. I think that house has been rotten ever since Leanna left. She was the primary caregiver of that home. If you kind of look back at the old footage, like before the Connecticut condo, like before Panda came in the scene, footage with Phil in his home, it looked like shit. Panda come along, we see the home. Looks a little spiffy now.
Yep.
And the leaves, we don't see the home because it's rotten. It's rotten. And I feel bad for the people that sitting around him, the other two condos, because their shit's probably getting fucked up too.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. Because I mean, obviously we don't know, but we know how Phil lived in his condo. That was a fucking mess.
But just based off of how he describes things that go down in his home and how he handles it, it's rotten. It's rotten. He's saying, like, when he cleaned out the filter for the AC, it's green stuff all in. It's like pollen. No, that's mold. It's mold, dude.
Yep.
You out here several times saying you done seen mold up in this house because your shit is rotten. You ain't doing nothing about it.
I wonder.
It's just gonna be fucked up too. Like I said, let God forbid one of his neighbors shit get fucked up and they find out that the source of their problem is Phil.
Oh God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
That would be how many would be, that got huge bills coming up, guys. I gotta pay $3,000 for my neighbor.
They all connected to each other, so whatever Phil's not doing is eventually gonna spread to their shit. And I'm pretty sure they'll take care of their shit, but then when they find out, like, oh, there's a nest and it's right in the fucking middle.
Yep.
Because they had ants too, and they had a bunch of garbage in the garage.
Garbage. You got cat waste all over the fucking place. He's got clogged disposals and puddles of water wherever the fuck, and he don't know if he turned the water off or not. Like, it's just rotten. It's Panda, because we know Cat ain't doing shit. Cat's just a roommate. He's just a roommate.
She's got Skyrim on lock. That's all she got.
And Panda was the one keeping that house in check. That's why we saw when we listen. Like I said, the footage we would see with him and Panda, you see the house, it always looked clean. It always looked kept.
Yep.
Now we see nothing. Why? Because we know he ain't doing nothing. Because when Panda left, he couldn't even use the washing machine. So what do you think he really doing up in there?
I wonder if that's when
goddamn
oh yeah, good question. I wonder if that's when the paper plate started. Maybe you never know. Maybe when Leanna left. All right, paper plates time, boys. We're not using the dishwasher anymore.
He's actually inept. He's that useless.
I think when
he's the motherfucker in a scary movie that's getting eaten first. Just no question.
Go ahead, Meerkat.
Yeah, I think when Kat moved in, there was a brief like a honeymoon period, maybe when she was cleaning and he was like, I don't know, more active and stuff. And then at some point, it all kind of started declining. And then the paper plates came in, and then the garbage started piling up in the garage. And then the ants came in, and then it was. Yeah, then they got Jasper and everything was just over. It's just cat piss.
Just
all
like
over
anything,
the place.
Meerkat, the mask slipped off. He sold Cat a bill of goods. She bought it because she had no other options.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually the mask slipped off, and he was like, here's a fucking cat, now leave me alone.
Go play Skyrim.
Go play Skyrim. I got some pulls to make and some gin to suck down. Let's go. I got some begging to do.
All right, man. Thanks, man. I'll let you go this time.
All right, man. You fellas take it easy. Cheers.
There goes, man.
Thanks,
that was a
man.
nice snort.
Always good stuff from Clickbait, bringing the heat as always. All right, Sam, message time.
Let's do it.
Hopefully it's not a bust.
Good evening, gentlemen. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of your wonderful streams. I love having them on in the background while I'm cooking and cleaning and child rearing and all that other wonderful detractor stuff. My question is, do you think there'd be any kind of situation that would really make Phil have to stop and actually go get a real person job? For example, I know the house thing, he was able to push that under a rug and he can always come up with excuses, but what do you think it would absolutely take to make him give up streaming? I'm thinking it would have to be something insanely excessive, like his house burning down, because homeboy is just clinging on to every penny he can get. So I just wanted to hear what your guys' take is. Again, thank you so much for your great streams. One of the female detractors signing out.
Yeah, always hyped to hear a female detractor on the call-ins for sure. But yeah, so that's a common thought. Hypothetical is what would it take? And for me, please interject, guys, if you think something different. But it would take him, about half as much income as he could probably live on half as much income as he has now if he just stops playing WWE champions, right? I think that's not too crazy of a thought, right? I mean, half is fine, right?
Probably, yeah.
So he has a long way to fall, but he has to give up on champions, right? So that's the key point. If he gives up on champions, he could probably make what? $100 a day and be fine, right? I mean, that's as long as he's not wasting that money on champions, $100 a day, living frugally, then, he could probably make it work. But what do you think, Meerkat?
Yeah. I still think the best situation for him would be kind of like a hybrid, like 3 days of streaming and 2 days of working or something like that, where he's going to kind of phase out of streaming. Because at this point, and he admits that himself, he can't find a job that's going to pay the bills that he has to pay now that are huge condo gated community bills and all that other nonsense. So he still needs to beg. But I guess the question was what needs to happen is for him, I guess, to just leave that house, sell it, and go back to Connecticut, and then just find some job somewhere and just like get to work, because he doesn't have much time either. He's like 40. He's really bad physically. He's really not like doesn't have a lot of like work experience in the last like 20 years. So it's going to be hard, but I guess he needs to just go back home, find a real job.
Yep. Anything to add, Sam?
Really sorry. I've got to head off again.
Okay, go ahead. We'll keep it. We'll run it down. Yeah. So what I think I didn't think about that, Meerkat. That's a good point, because if he sold the house, I mean, he gets somewhere smaller. You could last a long time, right? If you get a way smaller place, and he could choose to live wherever he fucking wants too. So
yeah, house is worth a lot less though.
True. Yeah, but I mean, think about that. Think about too, if he if he was on like twice a week, you think the whales would still come out? I think they would.
They would come out a lot more. He would have a lot more to say because they would see him less. They would miss him more. People would, even the fucking trolls would be more excited. Damn, DSP hasn't been streaming. I wonder what he's going to cry about today. If some coworker pissed him off or something. And in the end, he's going to end up like complaining about somebody who made him pissed off. And that's going to get him fired or something. And that's going to be the new drama saga. So yeah, nothing but fun content is going to come out of him getting a job. Because it's going to piss him off because he hasn't actually had a job in like, what, 20 years.
Yeah.
So he's going to complain more. He's going to be super pissed off. He's going to be like super entitled. And he's going to get a lot of money when he goes on stream.
Yes, think about that. A whole week of, 5 days off report instead of just 1 day off report. You might really have something to complain about then. It's not just like I couldn't find my drink in the supermarket anymore. That'd be kind of hype. Like my errands were so busy. Like he could be like, well, I had a few asshole customers yesterday. I was stocking the shelves. Some guy comes over and says, you know where the games are? I was like, what? I'm not in that department. Piss me off. Like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even if he did like a small part-time shit, like go down to 4 times a week, that might make more money. Actually, that's a crazy point. You're right. There might be like a new feeling to it, right?
I think one of the reasons he has so many slow days is that he streams almost every day, and people become kind of like used to just showing up and watching his shit, and it's all being the same thing over and over again. And if he was gone, then you would think about, hey, I wonder what this guy's gonna complain when he shows up next time. What the fuck happened? Because like insane shit happens to him for no reason sometimes, and it's just kind of bizarre to listen to him bitch about it.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's something fun to think about. Next caller coming in because Sam can't hit the messages here, so we got to go all the callers. And his is a legendary one. He goes by the name of DJ Runo. How you feeling, my friend?
Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing well. And
Yep.
everyone in chat.
Hit us with it.
Yeah, what's up, man?
The thing I wanted to talk about today. Apparently, everything in America costs about a grand.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Everything's $1,000 here. It's crazy.
Dishwasher over 500, at least 500. To get it fixed. Probably only needs an O-ring. I would guess it's leaking, but it's $1,000 O-ring.
Yep.
The shower needed a grand. I don't know. I don't want to know how much his vacuum cleaner cost.
A grand.
He needs all them ACs in the house. $1,000 each. I'm gonna go to America, buy cars. They're gonna probably $1,000 each. Buy a house, $1,000. What is going with $1,000? Because he talked about him talking about the dishwasher. It's not even that long ago. I had an issue with my dishwasher. Got the technicians in. $40, 40 euros to fix my dishwasher. I even gave them 50 because $5 each as a tip. Not that Phil would know what that is.
Yeah.
And had an issue with my washing machine. All clogged up. What did I do? I watched a YouTube video and it was fixed.
Oh,
works.
No. Yeah. He doesn't watch YouTube. He doesn't watch YouTube. He doesn't watch any of the creators.
He doesn't watch. Oh my god. Oh, that's too bad. It took me an hour. Fixed it. Like, for fuck's sake. Why everything's $1,000? And the mold thing in his house. Yeah, it's probably gonna. He's probably gonna get sick by it. And I wish I could ask Methbear for that because he's an actual lawyer. But maybe he's around in chat. As Mr. Smith said, legendary snorts, by the way, I love him. We found out with him, I cannot snort. It's actually, I'm not
I can't
able
either.
to.
I can't do it either, yeah. I've tried, but it
sad
doesn't come out
times.
good.
Sad times.
Nothing I can do. But yeah, here's a very niche $1,000 message from Phil. See if anyone else has anyone's in the chat. I'm sure you guys will. Here's another $1,000 cost. Taking Leanna to the hospital, he said the ambulance would cost $1,000. Remember that? That's a big pull. Who else has $1,000?
Everything's $1,000 in America. Everything.
Yep. Everything's
Look, man, I'll give him this. Once one of my friends, we had to call him an ambulance because he was having some stomach issues, and they put him in the ambulance. They told him how much it's gonna cost. This is in the Netherlands, in Holland, and then he instantly felt better and he got out. and he decided not to take it. So I kind of believe him on that. Plus, American healthcare is kind of it'd be like that sometimes.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
I wouldn't be
No lie.
surprised.
Yep, no lie.
I wouldn't be surprised. But DJ Aruno, what did you say you found out with Medbear? I don't think you finished that story.
Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I wanted to ask him is if they act, if the like how clickbait said, Mr. Smith, if his neighbors actually find out he's an issue, could they actually sue him for that? Like, could they take him to court? Like, yeah, motherfucker, you're going down.
I don't know how that works.
Because we have issues.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. I'm not American. I guess I just this rumor everyone can sue everything and but I don't know how far it actually goes in America.
Yeah.
And every state's different, but I don't see why they couldn't.
Yeah, I think how it works. I don't know. I don't have lived in the condo, so I don't know exactly how it works. But I know that when I have an HOA, you got to follow the rules with, and if you don't follow those rules, they can fine you something. But it's not. I'm not dealing with my neighbor's shit because I don't live like right next to them, so I don't know how that works. But yeah, good question. I mean, maybe Beth Bear next week call in and let us know because that'd be interesting for sure too. What they could actually do if mold spreads or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think especially in a gated community, probably the rules are more strict, and the things that you have to comply with are kind of more serious than usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but good shit, DJ Runo. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, see you guys.
You're always welcome here.
See you.
Always welcome here, DJ Runo. Looks like Sam is still out, so we got to go to another caller. But don't worry, another legend is waiting. Goes by the name of Jimmy. And he always brings the heat as well. Jimmy, what's up today, my friend?
It's a Scottish style caller.
Very Scottish style.
It's a Scottish style ending to the podcast, you guys.
Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about his kind of like his Twitter thing, where he had the little mini disaster where he was exposed to normies. I feel like that's something that stings him more. Is when he's exposed to like normal people as being a bit of a weirdo and an asshole, and he's like shown up. Because it's one thing to have like weirdos like us, just talking about him behind the scenes, but it's another thing for just normal everyday people or just normal, I guess, gamers in a community that I guess he now wants recognition from now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It stings him more. It definitely stings him more, and it caused him more pain. And that guy with the arcade cabinets is going to be living in the penthouse apartment in Phil's head, rent free for the rest of his life.
Yep.
Alongside Almighty Tevin and Keemstar. But I kind of wanted to talk about that because it's just so. He doesn't get. You don't see that kind of reaction from him that often. You saw it with Keem. You saw it with Rich from Review Tech USA.
Yep.
And I think it's almost because they have the normie audience. They have just normal people who watch him, and it stings him. It definitely gets to him more. I don't know how else to sort of put it. Also, the paper plates thing.
Yeah.
He had paper plates all the way back with Liana. I remember that. That being a thing.
Okay.
He's never had actual dishes for a man who really cares about his dishwasher. He seems not to actually have a whole lot of dishes. He relies very heavily on paper plates.
Yeah.
$1,000 dishwasher, and yet he always uses fucking paper plates.
I know.
How many?
He goes to Costco, picks up 500 or whatever. That's insane. I mean, that's just insane to go through all those. And then also he humble brags it, right? He's like, go to Costco, got to get my commodities. The commodities.
500 paper plates. Jesus Christ. You're not eating that much. You can't eat that much with the paper plates. It's not feasible. That's
DoorDash too. They bring their paper plates too. He probably says bring me the paper plates, please. I need those. They give you the checkbox. Don't forget the paper plates, bitch. I need those.
I can imagine him being the kind of guy that wouldn't eat out of a box. He'd probably I don't know. He probably thinks in his head that it's more grown up because he has this 50s sitcom schizophrenia where he thinks that it's a good idea to take it out of the box and then put it on the plate and then eat it in like that in the house, which is very weird. And it's like, so he probably just takes out the box, puts it on the paper plate, and then it's like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to eat it this way.
Yeah.
So he's just making trash in his house. He's just making more and more trash for no reason.
Yep.
God.
Go ahead. To your other point, though, about that, I think that does burn him because he has this huge entitlement. You know, that's his biggest thing is entitlement. And while he does say to his fans, I'm just like you guys. I'm just like you guys. But then everything he does doesn't show that, right? He has the opposite of that. He gets paid to play games. It's his job. It's not I'm not doing this for fun, guys. This is my job, too. He reminds everyone he's different, but then wants you to think he's the same, too. That's the duality of Phil again.
The duality of Philly and Burnell.
I also think with the normie point that he feels like people are misrepresenting his story. And when somebody doesn't know about DSP and they find out through somebody telling him, oh yeah, this is the guy that he begs for money and he jerked off on stream and stuff like that. He feels like it's super unfair. And they're like, no, I'm a champion. I'm a winner. I'm not this guy. But actually he is.
It's I remember way back with the Pokemon stream, when he said you're all lazy, and a lot of people pointed that out, and the first thing he said was it was out of context, and then people realized it wasn't out of context, and then it became like what was it, a moment of weakness. You took that moment of weakness and spun it, which is very, very it's such a Weasley thing, but it is completely like you're misrepresenting my side of the story. Here's my side of the story. It's the same thing with the beating off as well. I mean, it can't just be like he was beating off on live stream and got caught. It was, I was depressed and sad, so that's why I was beating off. There's a sympathetic reason for it. There's always a sympathetic reason because he's always a victim.
That's the worst, right? You can't masturbate unless you have a problem. Remember, that's the key takeaway, right? Anyone that masturbates, you have problems, guys.
Sam is just walking into the room to this discussion. If you don't have a problem, you can't masturbate.
You're talking about jacking off and coming. Next week, we'll talk about.
Go ahead, Sam.
I'd expect nothing less, especially from you, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's bringing this to us. But all right, Jimmy, any last point? Yeah, last point, man, my friend.
Last point. Fuck. I think the only thing Derek can say that will get him banned is if he starts that porn talk and he's thinking about Cat the entire time. I think that's the only thing that will ever get him completely banned from Phil's life, ever. So he starts getting really creepy about Sausage Lady Cat. So that's the only thing.
I'm waiting for him to accidentally do the wrong tab, right? Because we know he does tabs. We know he does those tweets while watching Phil. What if he does the wrong one? Like copy and paste. Oh shit, that was Phil's chat. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, he just puts a gross porn fucking message in Phil's chat. Just accidentally.
Yeah. I loved your new scat video.
Yeah. You made me think, what if there's a second Derek in his chat and they start a discussion about porn and they just can't stop talking about porn? Like the Derek and the other Coomer, some other dude. Let's call him I don't know.
If David met like the Steins Gate alternate universe version of himself and he just started talking about porn all day and then an endless feedback loop, that would just be that would be hellish. That would just be hellish because it would just be non-stop Disney posts and non-stop fucking porn posts, and it would drive you insane.
All right, let's go, Jimmy. Legend as always. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, see you later, you guys. Love you.
All right, cool stuff. All right, Sam, let's speed run. Okay, no more callers. We're locking the calling room. I wish I could actually do that, but I can't. But we're locking the callers. Sam, let's burn through a few messages fast style, speedy style.
Let's do it. Is Durkee?
Hey guys, obviously it's bad to send money to Phil. I haven't, and I don't recommend anyone do it, especially since it lets us mine more salt. However, I do admit that there's some incredibly skilled troll tippers like Snow Carl. These people are able to get Phil on a 20-minute rant for just $1, whereas Wales will just get what an incredibly generous donation, dude. Thanks. With like $20+.
Yep.
I like to run a thought experiment sometimes of crafting the best possible troll tip I could hypothetically send, and then I step in Phil's shoes and attempt to dismiss it, usually with his go-to, I have no idea what you're talking about, or the, no. So, who in your opinion are the best at the craft of troll tipping? And if you were forced at gunpoint, what would you attach to a tip to try and trigger a rant from the guy? Thanks.
Oh. So am I trying to trigger a rant or trigger him to like? I would kind of want to trigger like a helicopter company talk or something. Like I would try to go that way. Like try to get like, Phil, I heard you work for a helicopter company. Can I hear more about that? Like that's what I would do. I don't know. What do you think, Meerkat? You go first.
Dude, this with the helicopter company, I think it's a good idea. I would be like, hey, Phil, how would you think your life would go if you were given that opportunity at the helicopter company by the CEO that didn't leave? What if the CEO didn't leave and he gave you that opportunity? He gave you that chance. How do you think your life would go? And then it will be like a 40-minute tangent about it. But the other question about the troll tippers, I don't know. I just know about Snow Carl, and the rest of them are just kind of really, really bad at it, and it doesn't work out.
Yep, I don't know their names or anything, but yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah.
Unless you have one.
Well, no, I'm exactly the same in that respect. But and yeah, again, sorry to repeat, what you guys are saying, but yeah, I think you can't. I don't think you can do much better. Well, I'm sure someone in the chat will prove me wrong, but I don't think you can do much better than bringing up the helicopter company and just trying to get a little nugget from that, maybe.
yeah, something like that will be fun for me. But all right, let's do one more speedrun style message, I guess.
Message, yeah. Barry Lyndon.
Here we go.
Hello, everyone. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? Barry Lyndon speaking. And I just want to point out that the only reason Phil is the way that he is because his father never smacked him around for misbehaving. See, we can talk and we can talk until the sun burns out. But there's nothing more real than pain. All right. I'm going to go admire myself in front of the mirror. Later.
Very interesting style message there. This was very nothing to add, I don't think, unless you boys want to say something to that.
Yeah, I agree with his dad should have beat his ass more, including everybody else in life. He should have been beat his ass by everybody else that he actually came across in life. Like the garbage man. If he saw the garbage man should have whipped his ass on the spot.
Someone's asked before, like, what would happen if Jaha did beat him up? And you kind of wonder, what would happen? Would that have set him straight, or no?
At that point, that would be too late. He was like in his late 20s, so he was. I mean, if you hear him now, he was still growing up back then, but probably nothing would happen.
All right, we got someone from a very Scotland-style country. What are your thoughts, my friend, today?
All right, how you all doing?
What's up?
I've not got a huge amount to add. Don't worry, I'm not going to be fucking too long. I know you're desperate to try and wrap things up. It's just I was kind of looking at the metrics. I was piece of piece. I've been doing God's work again as usual on the tips tracker. He's added new pages and all that, new sources of information to try and break down the financials. All those things. I was just kind of looking at the financial side of things, and it's like, really, I can see why Phil's been so desperate this month, because usually, so there's a net revenue tab on the tracker that breaks it down month by month what Phil gets, and you can work out the YouTube pay is like a month behind because the July's pay gets paid out in August and so on. So I was trying to work out myself there, what does Phil usually earn between paydays rather than just like monthly?
Yeah,
and it really does tell why Phil is so desperate. Especially after last YouTube pay. But it was only like $3,500 he got. He is used. It's no secret. He gets far more, not far more, but tips are his primary source of income, which is crazy. But that's generally a factual statement because he earns more in tips than he does in a YouTube pay.
Yeah.
That's one big huge, one big chunk. But it does actually earn more in tips. It's why he begs. It's why he begs profusely, because as annoying as it is to hear every single day, it is usually very effective.
Yeah.
But so it's like you got things like from September to October, he has earned $3,633 in tips so far, combined with that recent YouTube pay of like $3,500 as well. So he's earned about just over $7,000 in tips so far, as well as YouTube pay. But he's used to getting about $10,000 roughly.
Yeah.
Between the two payments, so it's actually down a couple of grand more than usual, which is why he'd really be feeling the pinch. Particularly, especially since that last, the members all dropped and everything else. So you can see why he was panicking and he had the black shirt on and all that, But it's no doubt about it, I mean, he's going to continue to beg because it is a very effective tool for him, without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he does it in the end, right? It's because it works, right? If he didn't work, he would stop doing it, but it does continue to work, you know?
Exactly. There's one more thing I wanted to cover. I mean, I had that boring shit to get it away, but I also wanted to kind of say, like, the guy that roasted him on Twitter, Gail Wincoat, he's obviously kind of made it clear, I think people have seen themselves, like, he doesn't actually want anything to do with the DSP stuff or the tractor stuff in general.
Yep.
Like, I actually reached out to him and said, you know, it's like, I tagged him in a video because Phil had said something from him, so I just tagged his YouTube channel, and then I seen his tweet saying I want nothing to do with it, so I reached out to him, said I'm sorry if I bothered you or whatever.
Yep.
But he's very nice about it, to say that I wasn't targeting anyone in general, you know, and thanks for sending a message, whatever, I wasn't, you know, but he says, his kind of main stance is, you know, he's trying to just kind of, he considers what he said a bit of a mean shot, even if they deserve, you know, Phil deserved it, he still thinks it's a bit mean of him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to participate in like the hateful aspects of it or try to keep a one-off thing going. That was his words, which I do hope that's respected, to be fair. I mean, because the guy wants nothing to do with DSP. He said his one thing. He lives in Phil says rent-free and will do for a long time. Doesn't have to do anything or say anything about it. The fact of the matter is, Phil will just always be annoyed at his one little shot the guy took at him. He doesn't have to worry about it himself. But it's like, it's one of those things where you see apparently detractors were trying to egg him on to keep going and keep, you know, poking him, you know, just to try and get more responses out of him. But it's like, the guy's like, I've had enough. No more.
Yeah, because he saw that guy. I mean, that guy, I guarantee that guy didn't expect the tweet to blow up as big as it did. I get thousands and thousands of retweets. And like, you know, some detractors are kind of like aggressive with their methods.
They can be at times, yeah.
You know,
It's the case. I mean, I've seen him come and go a lot. You know what I mean? Some are also passionate, which is a good thing, but sometimes they got to channel it, you know, in the right way. And I don't want to sound like I'm fucking trying to tell people what to fucking do, but at the same time, I'd like to kind of have the guy's wishes be respected. You know?
Yeah. That's a fair point for sure. That's a fair point. And about your earlier point about the money going down, yeah, we could just, if you look at Pieces thing, he used to be getting $10,000 a month. Now it's about $7,000. So still, he's far from begging on the corner for his next meal by amazing amount, you know, by far.
I mean,
it's still kind of scary for Phil, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so far for September to October, you know, tips between the paydays anyway, he's got $3,633 in tips so far.
Yep.
He's going to get $4,727 on the 21st. And I think it's safe to assume that he will probably between now and the 21st get another, you know, grand, at least easily, $1.5 grand, maybe.
Yeah.
He will get back up to, so he's going to go back up to, like, you know, $9.5 grand maybe in earnings from all the tips, you know, between paydays. So it was one bad month, but it really freaked him out, as you can tell. And he's just really freaked the fuck out, which is fun.
Yeah.
I was looking at a tweet again, by the way. So the original tweet, the new Office fighting game dungeon, 5,000 likes, 604 retweets.
Yeah.
That was the original tweet. And his clapback tweet, 8,700 likes, 1,400 retweets. So it blew it out of the water. The original tweet got blown out of the water, all because Phil had to say something and say it in such a weird way.
Yep. All right, Jad, I'll let you go. Always a legend, my friend.
Yeah, so, man.
Thanks, Jad.
Good call as always from King Jad. Thanks so much, Jay of Cornwall, coming in hot. Hey, Sam, we're so close to 100 likes, by the way, Sam. I don't know if you're watching that.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
Sam is really interested in 100 likes today, guys, for a reason. I cannot let it out now, but cannot disclose it now. But
we need to make Sam happy. Come on, smash the like.
Jay of Cornwall, you are a legend, my friend. Thanks so much. DSP Christmas special will be. We'll do something special for that too. We're thinking about a Halloween special as well, but I don't want to give too many details out for that. Okay. Callers, let's go one more message, Sam. Let's try to get through the messages. We can't leave that many for next week.
Yeah, Harry Otter Gaming.
Yep.
Here we go.
Big ups, that being said. This is Harry Otter Gaming, first-time caller, long-time Darish bot. I just have one quick question for you guys, and thanks again for bringing this community to us to discuss and laugh at the one and only Big Roach, No Aim Burnell. All right, my question is, Phil's always bringing up about how he will have to change into a political talking channel to basically stay afloat on YouTube. Because let's face it, for years he's gotten no considerable growth from playing video games. My question is, do you guys think Phil has trapped himself in a corner and he has to justify making this kind of content to actually get views and engagement? Or is he just forcing this role upon himself because he's a sleazy, despicable, clout-chasing troglodyte? Again, thank you guys so much for having this community for us. You make work a lot less boring for me, especially. Take care of yourselves, that being said. Big ups!
Thanks, my friend. That was
Yeah,
a nice
kudos, man.
message. But
That was a
all right,
very positive message.
I'll throw it to you, Meerkat. Do you think? What's your take on that?
Now the political discourse, especially on like social media, is super toxic and regressive and
Yes.
and counterproductive. So it's perfect for him.
Yes.
But also he needs to pick a side, and he will never pick a side because this is, it's two teams. You got to pick a team. You can't be sitting on the fence and talking in abstracts about politics, and that's not going to work for him.
Yes.
So yeah, he's not gonna. No, nobody's gonna like that.
Yeah, you can't be in the middle you can't be like Boogie and try to be in the middle of fucking everything, which is basically what Phil is doing. I try to be in the middle of all that, every topic he's got to be in the middle, so I'll piss everyone off. Can't piss any whales off, right? That's dangerous. That is danger zone.
Yeah.
So
No, but
you can't do that, right?
It's perfectly on brand for him though. Like, if he can ramble for whatever it'll be, 2 or 3 hours about nothing, then that's
Can you
DSP.
imagine? God, can you imagine? Oh my god.
How's that any different from what he does on his pre-stream? It's just talking in circles about
fluff,
basically nothing. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna not pick a side, then that's exactly what it'll be.
Did you guys see, by the way, that not to change lolcows on you real quick though, that Boogie I Need Money video that just came out like last week? Oh my god, that was so incredible. What I love about lolcows, I talked about this Discord today, I don't care, I'm gonna say it again, is they're always one problem away from the breakthrough, right? And Phil's the king of this, right?
Oh, yeah.
He breaks it down to like weekly though, like, all right, we get past this week, then I'll be good. All right, we get past this month, we get past this year, we get past this thing. But Boogie does that as well. I didn't know Boogie was that much doing it like Phil was, but it was just exactly like Phil, but on a much, it kind of softer, but it's still like more sleazy because it's softer. Like it comes off as more sleazy. You always make sure to say like, if anyone needs, if you need the money, please. But if you'd like to drop a few bucks, you can super chat. It was so sleazy sounding. Meerkat, you sound like you watched it.
Boogie embraces being pathetic, and it's at this point being pathetic is low-key kind of a part of his brand, to the point where he uses that as a point of pity. So it's like, come on, you guys, give me some money. Look at how fucking pathetic I am. Come on. I just lost all my money on crypto, and I was flexing about getting a lot of money from crypto, but I lost it all. Please give me money.
Yeah.
And about them always being one step away, I think that's what keeps people watching, because, you guys, this might be the big one. This drama saga, this is going to be the big one. This is going to be so much fun. And then everything is okay. On to the next one.
Yep. And fucking Boogie's not even making videos, by the way. He's like, well, just support it so the future videos I can make. It's like, what? What is this? What? That was really got me kind of going like Phil does when he like guilt trips people. It was like, I don't even make videos, but if you like me, please give me money. Man, what a world we're in right now. That's the definition of a local, I think. That's part of the job description is you have to guilt trip your fans into money. And Phil's the best, but there's some other people that do it pretty well too, and Boogie's definitely one of them. And then he had this fucking crying video coming up. You guys gave me so much money, thanks. It's like, who's paying these guys off for this shit, man? Who wants these people to exist? Because there's clearly people that do. OIC is one of them for Phil, but who's giving Boogie $800 or whatever it was?
They've been around for long enough so people could have built some sentimental connection to them, I guess, some kind of an emotional connection from like back in the day, and now I don't know, because there's like people like that with DSP constantly that show up saying, DSP, I've been watching since 1965. Here's like $100.
And they answer the whale calls like, oh, Phil, I watched you back from your Fallout 1 days, and here's $100. I don't know, but I don't. That's not something I ever even crosses my mind. Like I used to watch fucking Spoonie, but it's not like, all right, Spoonie, I loved you back in the day. Here's $100, my friend. Thanks. I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole. I don't know. Maybe I just don't think about doing that.
No.
Maybe I'm not a kind person. I don't know. Dan, what do you thought? Go ahead. I don't know.
I don't know. It just reminds you of what a big place the internet is, I guess, doesn't it? You never know what kind of people are out there, and I'm sure there's people that just that are legitimate fans of these people that also either have money to spare or don't care about getting into financial ruin because of it or whatever.
Yeah. That's a good, interesting question. Before we get to a call here, already on the chat room, we got to end soon. But I wonder if, like, how many of the whales know what Phil does on the daily basis, right? What percent? Because I bet it's not high. I bet a lot of people think he's just playing games like a normal player, I guess. But I don't know. You can't ignore it. You can't not see it on the internet, DSP's true colors, right? Like, it's impossible to, like, just not see Phil shit if you're looking for it, right? I mean, it's all negative. So, you know, put DSP in the fucking YouTube, you see all tractor crap, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, they kind of, well, I don't know, call it brainwashing or whatever, but you know, you see the comments in his videos about, you know, how it's, you know, how we're, again, they'll parrot the same thing about how we're all mentally ill and all that.
Yeah.
You know, conspiracy theories and all the rest of it.
But all right, let's get to our last two callers left. The first of those two is L Show. Shoney, how you feeling, my friend?
Doing good, man. What's up, boys?
Hey, what you got for us today, man?
What's up? So I joined in late, so if this was repeated, just go ahead and say, hey, this is repeated earlier. So quick things I want to touch on. Did you guys talk about his tweet he did a couple hours ago about the GameStop short squeeze movie?
A little bit, but you can keep tell us again. It's fine.
Sure. Real quick. So the tweet says Sony buys rights to a movie about the GameStop short squeeze, and DSP says, why does there need to be a movie about this? Who cares? And this is just a repeated pattern of him. Of like, it always has to be about him. He goes, Kanye West? Who cares about Kanye West?
Mm-hmm.
GameStop movie. Who cares about this movie? In his chat, you can't talk about sports. You're banned. Guys aren't talking to me. You guys have to talk about me, talk to me, or talk about the game. You guys talk about get your own stream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just amazing how self-centered, how what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my god. Just full of himself that he is. It always has to be about him. Like nothing else can exist. It has to be about him.
Yep.
And then he wonders, why do people hate me? Oh, it's because it's a fad. It's a really cool fad to hit on Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it just
this guy doesn't get it.
Randomly, we all hate him for no reason. Oops,
we all took a big wheel and we spun it and it just landed on DSP. And all right, guys, we're gonna hit on this one guy, DSP.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
Yep. It's another. It's just. I said earlier. It's like, if Phil doesn't think something's interesting, that means it can't be interesting for anybody in the whole universe, right? And he has to share that thought, of course, because his thoughts are important and everyone wants to hear them. Very important thoughts he has. He has to let everyone know that if I don't like it, that means no one else likes it. So what is this about? And by the way, Poem's Future, Twitter, obviously legend, he mentioned that Phil talked about that on his pre-stream multiple days in a row, did tweets about it. So it was a big deal then, but now they make a movie about it? Who cares? Well, you did earlier. You know, just it's whatever.
Crazy.
But anything else for us? Go ahead, Sam.
Do you think maybe it's less that he's not interested in it and more that it's not in his schedule of things to talk about that day? Like, this is just a thought that's just occurred to me, you know, like it's not something he's pre-thought out, so you know it can't be part of today's stream. I don't know.
It could be. I don't think so. I mean, it could be because he's very like autistic about having his schedule and keeping to it and make sure like you guys can depend on me because I say I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna do it. But like you can just change things on the fly. You can you know, don't have to be so rigid. Like you can be spontaneous. Like
no.
Who
That's
enjoys someone that's just, you know, oh, this person's always this. Like that gets kind of boring, to be honest. But
well, spontaneous and Phil do not go together in any universe.
Never.
No.
never.
But all right, man, I'll let you go. Thanks, man. El Shoni, and always a legend in this Discord. See you, my friend.
Peace out, boys, and shout out to the Discord.
All right.
Hey, big ups, man. See you around.
All right, we got one last caller in here. Please don't leave. I want you to talk to you for sure as our last caller here. Very special caller here.
Can we also play that message from MATI Texan? Because he had some technical difficulties. It was kind of a struggle to get that message across. So
how many more do we have,
like
Sam? How many more messages do we have?
Quite a few. About 7 at least. I haven't refreshed in a while.
Seven.
7, 7.
We only had 5 on the schedule, so I don't know if we can get to all 7. But all right, play those two, Sam. The one before Mati and the one and that Mati. So let's do 2D2 Will first.
Okay.
Go in order here, and then we'll go to those two.
Hey guys, 2D2 Will here. So his dishwasher is leaking water and damaging his wood floor and building up water in the bottom. His plant rotted out part of his floor. His shower is broken and is ruining tiles and the wood floor underneath it. His toilet doesn't work. His drawer fell apart. His father had to tell him about a potential fire hazard in the house. And he has mold growing in the house and in his Wii Remote sleeves. And God knows what else is wrong with that condo. So my question is how long before his house gets condemned? Because it seems to be falling apart, and he might not get that refinancing if his place starts turning into a piece of shit.
That's a lot of calls this week about the mold. I wasn't expecting this barrage of calls about the apartment, but yes, we're getting a lot this week for some reason, and I guess it's true. And that's a good shot with the Wiimote sleeves. That's when you got mold in there, you know things are going south in your house.
Somebody in chat says the house is molded like in Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. Condemned. It's soon to be a condemned style house. Thank you, Midlife Crisis. Yes, soon to be a condemned style house. Yeah, but we all just know what he shows us. What he shows us looks like it's not looking good, and he tells us it's not looking good. So I don't know what else we can add there. That's a good point, though. Refinance, right? I mean, he's hoping to get that. Prophet. Oh, Prophet, you are truly a legend. Gift and subs. Thanks so much, my friend. You are a legend. Go ahead. Let's get to Monty Texan real quick. Legend.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, Matty Texan here. I just wanted to say something about what Alt asked Steve Dead yesterday in y'all's super surprise style stream spectacular yesterday.
Great one.
About why Phil has to have this stringent schedule, and I don't agree with Steve on his narcissism thing. I just think it's all part of his LARP, that he has to be seen as this mature adult style businessman. And that he has to support his family, and he can't choose his day off, and he streams full time. I think these like buzz phrases, these like Joe working man style buzz phrases that he uses is all to put on this persona that he has a legitimate business, that he's a legitimate working adult. Even though he streams and begs in his jammies. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. And thank y'all for everything y'all do, and keep going.
Hey, thanks. I'm glad you got your message in, my friend. That was a good thought. And yes, I think you're right. That is about those kind of. I'm a hardworking person, and I need to be on the schedule. And I have. Oh God, I got work tomorrow. Like he can't control that explicitly himself, right? I mean, I think it's a big part of it. Meerkat, anything to add there, or Sam?
Yeah, 100% that. He's not mature. He's not an adult by like mentally developed standards. So he has this checklist of stuff that other mature adults do and have and are, and he tries to like mimic and simulate it, but it doesn't quite work out because I mean he's a man baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. I still haven't watched the show from yesterday. I didn't get much time for that, but I definitely will.
It was a definitely interesting style show for sure. Sam, anything
I was
to add there?
hungover most of the day.
Sounds good. Fun style a day there. We have a definitely legendary style. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
No, I don't have too much to add, but I will just quickly play this. Thank you everyone for getting us up to where are we now? 133 likes.
Wow.
And this is for you guys.
I actually don't think clicking like on a live stream helps at all. So it really doesn't matter if this stream gets 100 likes or 2. I don't think it affects it.
Thanks, Phil. There we go. Carry on.
That's our new 100 likes. We don't do bubble blows here. We'd step it up. All right, we step it up. But we have a legendary style guest in our chat here, in our call here. How you doing, Mr. I don't want to say your name exact because everyone will recognize you just from your voice alone. So I'm going to give you the chance to talk first. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling great, gentlemen. I hope you guys are feeling great as well.
A little bit robotic here, but we can still understand you perfectly. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's part of the course with my internet, unfortunately. But
go ahead.
It is unfortunately what it is.
We can still understand.
I do want to leave one comment and one question. The comment that I wanted to leave was a point that I made it on one of my streams, my restreams. And I posed to you guys this. That tweet that was from Guile Windquote, when he said, if you ask nicely, DSP, I can run the PS1 version of Super Turbo on my cabs. So you can reminisce on the last time you were ever relevant in this community. You gave him a big thumbs up. I'm gonna say it like this. DSP got the wrong idea. He wasn't negative. He was very positive. He said he wants to help DSP out, relive his glory days, and have fun playing the game he was so good at the one time he was popular. I'm just saying the guy was just being really, really nice to him.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe he just mistook it.
Well, I'll say this. He was being at least as nice as Phil was trying to be. And Phil wasn't trying to be nice at all. Let's get real. But Phil claims to be. I didn't make fun of him. We talked about it yesterday. That's such bullshit. And that guy, you could say, like you said, maybe he's really wanted Phil to play that game that he was so good at. Maybe you're right.
Absolutely. That's how I feel. He was just being a nice guy. He invited him over to play on his cabinets. Who would turn that down? Only a crazy man.
Only.
Now, I do have one point, which is kind of a question. Just see how you guys think. And it's great because I put this up as a thing. I want to say it was like 6 or 8 months ago. I'm glad it's finally coming around because more people are going to kind of say it. And he even said it during his pre-stream last week. But he mentioned how, well, number one, during a pre-stream, that inflation was actually a bad thing. And he was noticing that grocery prices were going through the roof. He was having trouble buying stuff at the groceries because everything just kept going up and up.
Mm-hmm.
But within the last 24 hours, during one of his Evil Within streams, he had a moment where somebody had gave him $5 in a super chat and simply said, "Hey, man, you know, some of us maybe it's getting a little harder for us to keep giving as much money as you're wanting us to give because of inflation." And he kind of went off on that guy by saying, well, you know, other streamers are getting huge donations and Twitch and YouTube are closing their doors anytime soon. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. But I have a feeling that inflation's going to come back. It's going to be played in the cards. I think it's been silently set down in a face down position. I think at some point it's going to flip over and he's going to activate that trap card.
I mean, wait, hold on. I want to make sure I got that. He's going to use that as a guilt trip tool to beg more? Like, hey guys, inflation's hitting me too. Or what do you think?
Possibly, yes. And it'll also be because of inflation, people are tipping less. Therefore, I'm going to need more people to support instead of relying on the 1 or 2 people.
Oh yeah, it's going to be both. It's going to be the price of the day off is going to get higher because he has to buy more stuff, and the revenue is going to get lower because people are going through inflation. So it's going to be like a double whammy.
That's one of my favorite quotes of last week. I need to support my day off. That's what he said. I need to support my day off. And another thing Phil has to support. First, it's a family. Got the cat. Got the Total Wine. Now we got a day off to support. What else is there? But all right, Annalie, I'll let you go, my friend. Thanks so much for your call.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, robot and lead.
I know. Only for a legend of that stature do we allow that kind of quality phone, for sure. That's how we know he's a true legend. Okay. We are at 5 my clock, 6:23. Can you please play, Sam, those 2 short messages to get off the hopper here, and then we'll get to the rest next week, I guess. Or maybe a secret style, spontaneous style call-in show sometime might happen, I guess. We could do that too. But let's get rid of those really short ones real quick.
Okay, so 5 seconds. Here we go.
Let's go.
Thanks for the money, dummies.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Fantastic. You're welcome.
No problem. We hope to continue to give it to you.
And then, the next shortest one is actually Ganji Kid.
There you go. Ganji Kid, legend.
Hi, I'm Ganji Kid. Phil's been making a big thing of his Halloween costume and lack of money with which to obtain one. My question is, what would you dress Phil up as for Halloween and why? Personally, I think he should just save the money, wear his normal clothes, and go as a grown-up down on his luck Eddie Munster. Thanks.
That's, you know what? I almost want to say save it for Halloween, right? Like I almost want to say that right now.
Yeah.
Are you guys on board with that thought? Because I think that's a good Halloween style question. We should save for our Halloween style shows.
Yeah, I like that
sure.
idea. Yeah.
I don't want to edge you out too hard, Ganji Kid. If that's okay with you, I should ask you because you're in chat right now. Because that's a great question. I kind of don't want to blow our load here. I don't want to blow our load to that tissue.
just to lead off from that though, like that is one thing that again kind of picked up on, and I think a lot of people did, was the fact that he was pre-day off or whatever, he was going on about what he had upcoming, and one of those things was having to pay for a Halloween costume, and it's like, but you hit the goal, like that's been paid for, that's what that money is for, is it not? Like yeah,
it's
crazy.
Like you get, that's how the goals work, guys. You know this. You get goals to watch another stream where I have a bigger goal. That's what the goals are. So let's not act confused here. We all know the deal, right? So you know what kind of situation this is with our reward style shows. So
yeah, it's tiered support. You hit one of the levels, then you get the reward is that you get to pay for another level.
Yep. That's the best part. Oh, and someone posted, okay, we got to end this fucking show. But what someone said on the Discord, when he got a $1,000 tip one day from fucking Jax Razor.
Yep.
The first words out of his mouth were, "Whoa, this is almost the biggest tip I've ever got. I got one like $2,000 last week." It's like, dude, how like Jax Raxer, man, wake up. If you imagine you give your best friend a present, it's like, whoa, this is almost as good as what I got last week.
Yeah.
Kill yourself. If that's, you think that's cool? Like, that's, no one deserves that, man. Oh man. All right.
Yeah, it's not like any kind of gratitude. It's just mentally he's going, oh, where does this rank on the leaderboard?
How much do I like this tip?
Yeah.
That is $1,000 fucking dollars.
Yeah. Imagine someone giving you 4 digits and like the first words out of your mouth are not anything but I will do whatever you want. I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. Like, thank you so much. I can't believe what you just did, but I don't mention when someone else gave me 2,000. What the hell? Anyways, on that note, it is time to reveal. If you're a member, of course, you already know this because we always reveal our members early. We always reveal our future guests early to our members. And I did not properly promote this, but we were going to reveal our guest for this weekend is the one, the only Ludwig World Order, legendary video maker for many years, has so many awesome ones that he's going to be here on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please come here on Sunday, noon Eastern time, I believe. We'll check on that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But thanks so much for all you're watching today. So great. We got 100 likes. You guys must have loved the stream, as Phil would say. We got to 100 likes. That means you love the show more than usual, right? I guess.
Even though we asked for those likes, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. We'll set this video to private so this all go away anyway. So don't worry. We won't do that, actually. But anyways, final words. Meerkat, please send us home.
Question of the day by member Fisgas. DSP kicked out of another platform by the end of the year with 443 votes. 66% say yes. So that's the question answered. And that was the show, everybody. Thanks for watching. It was us, the guys that do the show, and it was you, the guys that called in, that made this show fun and interactive. I'm gonna go to bed because it's 12:30, and you take care and see you around.
There you go, Sam. Final words. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry I was such in and out so much. Family style situation going on. But, yeah, we'll see you on Sunday. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be fun, guys.
Yeah. See you later, everyone.
I'm here to play a character. I'm not here to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. I don't dye my hair. I don't act stupidly constantly to get attention from children. I don't do stupid pranks. You know what I mean? I don't cause drama. I'm here just to play games and have fun. I'm a legitimate gamer. Big ups to your dad. I need banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I need banana, tasty banana. Please don't peel it, comes in there. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. Act and talk a certain way with certain mannerisms, certain over-the-top reactions, screaming at the top of their lungs, jumping, flailing, doing weird things, constantly on camera. I need banana, tasty banana, put banana in my mouth, tasty banana.